How the rich use fear to their advantage, and you can too. Here at the Mindful Millionaire, we don't just talk about making money, we talk about becoming the kind of person who attracts wealth, keeps it, and uses it to make a difference. Today's episode is about something most people run from: fear. But what if I told you? The rich don't run from fear. They don't pretend it's not there. They use it. They embrace it. They alchemize fear into fuel. As the African proverb says, when there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. Part 1. The nature of fear. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a messenger. Fear is information. And information, when used wisely, becomes power. But here's what most people do. They feel fear and freeze. They feel fear and flee. They feel fear and fail not because they're incapable, but because they let fear make their decisions for them. The rich, however, they feel fear and investigate it. They ask, what is this fear trying to tell me? What's the opportunity hidden inside this emotion? Think of Warren Buffett during financial crashes. When others were panicking, he was buying. Why? Because he understood a deep truth: be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. This isn't just clever advice, it's emotional mastery. Part 2. The story about the fire. Let me tell you a short story. In an African village, a young boy named Dalu wandered too close to the edge of the savannah and spotted smoke. He panicked. Fire was coming. He ran back, terrified. But his grandfather, a wise elder, stood calmly and said, "Yes, fire is dangerous, but it also clears the land. It makes way for new growth. Fear is like fire. If you run, it can burn you. But if you understand it, it can feed your farm." That day, Dalu learned that what he feared could also be as a lie. Part 3. How the rich use fear strategically. The rich don't avoid fear. They plan for it. They expect fear to show up before every major breakthrough, before launching a new business, before making a large investment, before changing industries, before going public with an idea that could fail. They feel fear and move forward anyway, not recklessly, but mindfully. Here at the Mindful Millionaire, we teach this principle: courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting with wisdom in the presence of fear. The difference is mindset. Most people ask, what if I fail? But the rich ask, what if I don't try? What's the cost of staying stuck? Part 4. Let's hear the real-life story. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, started her business with $5,000 in savings. She had never run a business. She had no experience in fashion, but she had a fire in her belly and a ton of fear. What did she do? She embraced it. She told herself, fear means I'm on the edge of something new. She studied, tested, asked for help, failed, got back up.
Today, she's one of the youngest self-made female billionaires. Her father used to ask her, "What did you fail at today?" He celebrated her failures because they meant she was trying. Part 5. The science and spirituality of fear. Neurologically, fear triggers the amygdala, the fight, flight, or freeze center. But the prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain, can override this. We call this mindful reprogramming. You pause, you breathe, you name the fear, and then you ask, is this fear based on truth or just imagination? What's the worst that could happen, and can I handle it? What would my future self want me to do? And spiritually, we remember this truth, the African proverb: he who is destined for the throne is not afraid of the path. Let me share something personal. There was a time I stood at the edge of a big decision, one that terrified me. Quitting my job, starting over, trusting myself. Fear whispered, you'll lose everything. But purpose shouted louder, this is your moment. I didn't eliminate fear. I brought it with me, like a quiet passenger in the back seat, and I've never regretted it. Now I turn to you. What is fear holding you back from? A business idea? A conversation? A relocation? A reinvention? Here at the Mindful Millionaire, we challenge you to reframe fear, from threat to teacher, from barrier to bridge, from enemy to energy. Here's what I want you to do today. 1. Write down one thing you've been afraid to do but deeply desire. 2. List the worst case scenario and how you'd handle it. 3. Then list the best case scenario and how it could change your life. 4. Take one small, courageous action toward it today. Remember Japanese proverb, fear is only as deep as the mind allows. Also remember African proverb, even the lion, king of the jungle, feels fear when it hears thunder, but still it roars. So, today, roar. Let fear sharpen you. Let it humble you. Let it move you. Because the rich don't avoid fear. They dance with it until it becomes an ally. And you can too. Thank you for listening to The Mindful Millionaire. If this message stirred something in your soul, share it with someone you care about. Let's build a world where courage wins over comfort and where fear is no longer the enemy but the compass. Until next time, stay bold, stay wise, and remember your wealth begins in your mind.
If this video added value to you, like it, share it, and subscribe for more. Comment below, what's one tip you'll start using today to build lifetime wealth for yourself? Let us know in the comment.